Umar El Yaqub applauded both President Muhammadu Buhari and the leadership of the National Assembly for always taking proactive steps towards deepening cooperation and partnership between the executive and the legislature for national prosperity. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, it's been 15 months of working relationship between the executive and the 9th National Assembly, a relationship that the actors themselves strongly believe has yielded meaningful national development. The leadership of the two arms of government met and reviewed the strengths and weaknesses of this relationship for possible improvement. Ignatius Unko reports.
The 9th National Assembly is credited to have introduced some innovations, positive ones at that. Improved relationship with the executive is one of such changes. But like a newly constructed road, this relationship too needs maintenance, and it is the commitment to lubricate this alliance that necessitated the joint executive-legislative leadership retreat at the presidential villa. Interestingly, the legislators and the executive agreed that the existing relationship between the two arms of government has been productive.
Mr. President and the leadership of the 9th Assembly have taken proactive steps to foster and deepen cooperation between both arms of government.
You can see how the outcomes of bills from executive have been passed without any delay.
All of us must realize that this cooperation should be mutual.
You have seen the legislature has cooperated with the executive to the letter because it has given it maximum support.
With the economic downturn caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, both parties concord on the urgent need for an improved relationship.
It is like the National Assembly is making more sacrifice. So this kind of meeting will make everybody to contribute.
There is room for improvement. With this kind of synergy, with this kind of retreats, probably we'll get to talk.
And the purpose is not to rest on your oars and think that you have a perfect balance, but to find ways of continuously improving relationship and communication.
This meeting aptly captures the essence of popular consultation in democracy. From the presidential villa, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved automatic employment for education students on graduation, extension of teachers' retirement age to 65 and teaching service year to 40. This is in the President's message to Nigerian teachers as they join their counterparts the world over in marking 2020 World Teachers' Day. Adebola Brusklin Sunday reports that the message was presented by the Minister of Education, Adamu.
Visually impaired Diglip Emmanuel is one of the about 2 million qualified and registered teachers in Nigeria. Attempts to bridge the educational gap between the visually impaired and their abled counterparts in Nigeria led him to the teaching profession.
Teachers' reward is not supposed to be in heaven alone, but it's supposed to start right from here on earth.
Special salary scale for teachers in basic and secondary schools, including provisions for rural posting allowance, science teacher allowances, and peculiar allowances is hereby given. Free tuition and automatic admission for biological children of teachers in their respective schools.
I am confident that many teachers will rise up to the challenge to work harder and emerge as stars of our future.
Key players say year 2020 is the best year to appreciate teachers due to the coronavirus pandemic.
To always remember to appreciate that special teacher who laid the foundation for the success you have achieved in life.
National President, Nigeria Union of Teachers, Nasir Idris, commended the concerted efforts of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and the modalities put in place for safe reopening of schools.
In order to safeguard the health and safety of the learners, teachers, and the school community as a whole.
There were gift items for winners of the Presidential Teachers and Schools Excellence Awards.
I continue to uphold education, nationally, internationally.
Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Joining me to discuss more on the 2020 World Teachers Day is Professor Musa Ashon Maisamari, Dean, Faculty of Education, University of Abuja. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
No one actually saw this coming. President Muhammadu Buhari on this Teachers Day 2020 offers automatic employment to students of education on graduation. How will this impact on teaching and education in Nigeria, especially as complaints about declining quality, get louder?
Well, I'm sure you've read from the social media communications, the excitement, the applause, and all of the appreciation towards this gesture. It is a known fact that admission into education courses in Nigeria has suffered a lot. A lot of students would not want to apply ordinarily, and those who finally get admitted are those that have been rejected in other areas. But with this motivating act of Mr. President, I am sure we will be rejecting students rather than begging for students. More would come into the teaching profession, more quality candidates will come into the teaching profession, and that will translate into more quality service delivery at the end of graduation.
And increase in retirement age to 65 and 40 years of service, as well as free tuition for fee for biological children of teachers. Now that sounds too good to be true or to believe. Now, will these be the magic wand to restore the glory of teaching and by extension education in our country?
Certainly that is just going to do that. And I want to tell you that that will also increase the mentorship period with which teachers would give to the younger one coming. That a teacher will stay in service for 40 years. That gives him a lot of latitude to be able to groom the younger ones that will come. And that will give him also the latitude to deliver the service for which he has been trained. You will recall that in most cases, most teachers start as either, for my present generation, some started as grade 2, grade 3, and by the time you are 30, 35 years old, you are still young and you are asked to go. That is when you seem to have understood the teaching act, you seem to have understood the psychology of the learner, and you are at your best to deliver, and you are told you are supposed to retire. So this is going to add to the quality of teaching that we are expected to deliver.
Now, Professor Maisamari, this applies to federal government. Do you see states queuing into this, or rather, what will you advise on this?
Well, unless the states are not serious, there is no state in Nigeria today that has the required number of teachers to man their schools, primary and secondary schools. There is no state. We have a benchmark of 25 to 1 teacher. Today, you go into a class in secondary school, 200, 100 for a teacher. And you can understand the impact of that when it comes to monitoring students' learning. Subjects where you have to give assignment and marks, you mark and also take the students to show them their corrections. Where you don't have that, that is going to suffer. But with this number of students, graduating and they are being employed, more teachers will be in the services and more teachers will be there for the students. With the student ratio, teacher-student ratio now becoming smaller, more attention will be given and there will be more quality delivery.
Okay, so tell us, what should the major stakeholders in the education sector do or be doing to reciprocate this gesture?
Well, first and foremost, let me say, I hope the implementation will not just be speedily, but it will be promptly implemented. And I want to say, teachers themselves, when I say teacher, from the person who is coming in from day one to the supervisor, the headmaster, the education officers should reciprocate this by working hard to justify the good gesture. We are coming up.
Professor Musa Ashon Maisamari, thanks for coming on the Network News tonight.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Still discussing education, resumption of academic activities in schools across the country will be done in line with safety protocols as recommended by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. To foster effective sensitization and compliance with the safety measures, The Ministry of Environment is deploying 60,000 environmental health emergency volunteers to man environmental health desks in schools across all 774 local government areas of the country. Onengie Fineface reports.
Activation of the Environmental Health Emergency Volunteer Corps is initiated to provide support services to environmental health officers in developing detailed protocols, establishing and maintaining prescribed hygiene standards and practices. Members of the Volunteer Corps will monitor provision of water, sanitation and hand hygiene facilities, access to gender-segregated toilet facilities, carry out temperature checks and ensure that classrooms and hostels are well ventilated.
In the same vein, environmental health officers working in the state and local governments are hereby directed to key in to the training of teachers, administrators, and other education personnel on safe and hygiene measures.
The Corps will also promote use of face masks, ensure safe food preparations and handling, as well as safe disposal of wastes in schools. Consequently, a joint assessment team comprising environmental health officers at the federal, state and local government levels will also be activated to ensure compliance with the protocols for safe reopening of schools in Nigeria. In Abuja, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
This is the network news on the NTA. Commercials now.
My tailor don't be your mate. He don't live for your grade. If he knock you out, tell no go the hell. Anytime I want to celebrate, he go so the clock he no delay to. He dey sweet me like a chocolate. Oh, my tailor no dey disappoint. Tailor we go Harvard University. Oh, yo. You don't go the job like a baka. If you see my tailor,
make that switch today and enjoy all calls at 11 kobo per second. Free data on every recharge and double data for 3 months on the network with the widest 4G coverage.
Okay, my tailor.
Airtel, the smartphone network in a country filled with different and unique kinds of people. There's no such thing as one size fits all for everything, especially sleep. That's why there's a Muka specially made for you. The Pepe Dem Gang, the Mamas, the Daddies, the Papas, the Zaddies, the baby girls, the fit fam, and the I cannot come and go and kill myself. Whoever you are, there's a Muka for you. So find your Muka today and wake up feeling good and ready to take on the day. Visit www.muka.com.
The Steering Committee of the MSME Survival Fund and the Guaranteed Offtake Stimulus Scheme, headed by the Honorable Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Maritime, has urged all MSMEs in the country to take advantage of the following federal government interventions to sustain their businesses. MSME Guaranteed Offtake Stimulus Scheme, aimed at providing ready-made market for their products by procuring products with a value of at least 150,000 naira, and the MSME Survival Fund, which is a conditional grant to support vulnerable MSMEs with a staff strength of not less than 3 persons in meeting their payroll obligations and safeguarding jobs in the MSME sector from the shock of the COVID-19 pandemic. The project will cover the entire 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. To be eligible, MSMEs must be registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) and must have a bank verification number (BVN). For further information and addresses of the project's offices in all the states of the Federation, please log on to www.survivalfund.ng, www.survivalfundapplication.com. Please note that registration is free and through the official portal only. Signed, Project Delivery Office.
Really? Yes.
get more data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Moments can be ordinary. It's what we make of them that really matter. Make the best of every moment, every day, like super moms do with Indomie. Moments to laugh with Indomie. Moments to learn with Indomie. Moments to care with Indomie. Moments to share with Indomie. Moments like no other to appreciate.
Super Moms create special family moments with your love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Welcome back. Consistency in capacity building as one of the key components of the vision of the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, has made the Nigerian Air Force self-sufficient in research, development and maintenance of its platforms. This forms part of a paper presented by the Air Chief at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State, from where Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
The venue historic. The listeners, mid-level officers studying to step up their credentials in order to make history.
It is my hope, therefore,
with the title Future of Air Warfare in Nigeria, My Vision, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, told the officers that the 21st century is knowledge-driven and they should be prepared towards stepping up their game in line with the demands of the century.
You must compare notes with others. That's the only way you can move forward. And we must try to look inwards in terms of being able to produce some of these things like the research and development that we are conducting in the Air Force. And the whole idea is to lay a foundation where people can now take over from and believe in themselves that they have what it takes to really solve some of these issues without necessarily irritating our partners. As an Army officer, can you talk about platforms in the Navy and the Air Force? As a naval officer, can you do otherwise? Set your conscience and get true answers to those posers.
His mission in Kaduna did not end with the lasting impression he left on the officers, but a demonstration of the component of his vision for the Air Force, the inauguration of the new phase of the Nigerian Air Force Club. In Kaduna, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, has visited the Lois Edit House and met with the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, over recent alleged brutality involving youths by the operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, FSARS. Francis Fong reports.
We know that going forward, things can only get better.
This visit is unusual, but it has a major objective of ending the unnecessary harassment and human rights violation on Nigerians, particularly the youth, by some members of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The meeting agrees that a table for discussion be provided. The initiative is suggested to be youth and police town hall meetings across the country under the supervision of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development.
We recognize that the police have a statutory responsibility to keep the peace. We recognize the work the police force has done in the past years, is doing currently. And I think that this development gives us another opportunity to improve the relationship between the youth and the police, I believe, under your watch.
The police chief assured to carry out deep reforms, sanctioning of erring officers, as well as more commitments in the protection of the youth.
Any individual within us that goes contrary to his training in terms of being civil to members of the public. We will not let them go free because their action may smear the good work that the institution Nigeria Police Force is doing.
On Sunday, the IGP placed a ban on various activities of FSARS, including stop and search and mounting of roadblocks on highways across the country because of alleged misconduct. In Abuja, Francis from NTA News.
In a related development, the Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Maigari Dingyadi, has directed the leadership of the Nigerian Police to strengthen outfits responsible for monitoring activities of police personnel to ensure professionalism and the discharge of their duties. He was reacting to the incident in Ughelli area of Delta State, where operatives of a unit always accused of maltreating the citizens were involved. The minister says the newly inaugurated Servicom unit of the ministry has been mandated to work closely with the police public complaint units of the Police Service Commission to fast-track resolution of all cases of infraction against policemen and bring erring officers to book. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Governors Forum has described the order for the immediate ban of Federal Anti-Robbery Squad, FSARS, and a range of other tactical squads of the force as a major breakthrough in sanitizing structures of the Nigerian police. A statement by its chairman and governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, says the measure will give a civil face that entrenches human rights and promotes respect of citizens' dignity. The forum salutes the courage of the Inspector General of Police in stepping into the rampant abuse of rights of innocent citizens. In politics, sensitive materials for Saturday's Ondo State governorship election have been delivered to the Central Bank of Nigeria, Akure, for safekeeping, from where they will be distributed to various polling units on Thursday. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, will disclose this at a stakeholders meeting in Akure, says every vote cast on Saturday will not only count, but the electorate will determine the next governor of Ondo State. Doris Olumoko has details.
For Saturday's governorship election in Ondo State, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu says the main task before INEC electoral officials, ad hoc staff and other stakeholders is to ensure that the election is transparent and reliable. He maintained that the commission will be non-partisan and accord equal opportunity to all the candidates and their parties for a credible election.
Be rest assured, votes will count. Polling unit level results will be uploaded in real time as polling units close for public view, even before we finally collate and make a declaration of winner. However, this will not happen where the process is disrupted by either violence or malpractice.
Any person that violates any components of the criminal law shall be apprehended and be charged under the appropriate section of the law.
Representatives of political parties and other stakeholders expressed the hope that Saturday's election in Ondo State will be free, fair and credible. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
Still talking politics, the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has assured the People's Democratic Party of his continued loyalty as he promises to always also be magnanimous in victory, following his electoral victory for a second term in office. Timothy Yusuf reports that Governor Obaseki gave the assurance during a visit to the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja.
Governor Godwin Obaseki is visiting the National Secretariat of the PDP for the first time after his victory in the September 19 governorship election in Edo State. Received by the party's National Working Committee, Governor Obaseki says his visit is essentially to say thank you to the party for its support to him.
For us as a people, we do not forget where we are coming from.
National Chairman of the PDP, Uche Secondus, saluted the humble disposition of Governor Obaseki, which he described as worthy of emulation, and then joined him to hit the ground running through aggressive development of the state.
We must carry everybody along in the decision process and making sure that we dispense everything to all and sundry.
The PDP enjoined its members and supporters to also work for the victory of the party in the October 10 Ondo governorship election. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Michael Olalayer is in our Lagos studios for more reports.
Thank you, Kene. Retiring officers from the armed forces that recently participated in various entrepreneurial skills acquisition at the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center, Oshodi, Lagos, are expected to redirect their focus and energy to life outside military backgrounds. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olonishakin, underscored the importance of vocational training for outgoing military personnel on completion of training in Lagos. Paulo Mukago has details.
The Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center is charged with the responsibility of impacting skills relevant to the resettlement needs of retiring military personnel in the country. General Olonishakin, while appreciating the center for its human capital development efforts, charged the new set of graduates to put into meaningful and sustainable use the new skills acquired, describing their successful training at the center as a historic milestone in their military career as it prepares them for their post-service life. The Chief of Defense Staff acted on the need for them to be security conscious and make positive contributions to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Remember, you remain ambassadors of the armed forces, and I urge you to continue to support various security agencies, particularly in area of community intelligence gathering.
The commandant of the center, Air Vice Marshal Kingsley La, says much effort and emphasis was placed on maintaining and improving the physical and social infrastructure of the center.
One of the things that kills retirees is boredom and inactivity. So if they have a vocation that they are doing, they will be able to, keep themselves mentally and physically engaged and hopefully make some money in the process of doing that.
The center graduated non-military personnel who were among 323 graduates. In Lagos, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
Still on security, maritime security has remained a priority in Nigeria due to the essential nature of activities in this critical sector to the nation's economy. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the Nigerian Navy is strengthening collaboration to ensure effective surveillance, protection of vessels and cargoes, as well as other critical national assets. Dr. Ogunyemi reports on the uniqueness of an ongoing exercise with the United States Navy.
Tackling the issue of piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, as well as combating other threats, remains a focal point of the Nigerian Navy by sustaining the presence of its vessels at sea, as well as ensure regular training of its personnel. This visit by the USS Herschel Woody Williams for a 3-day exercise is to promote maritime security and deter criminal elements.
The exercise that we are going to have will include a rig protection exercise, which is a very critical exercise to our maritime security. As you know, we have several assets in our maritime environment. One of those assets is oil. So the protection of those assets is very critical to our economic well-being as a nation.
On its part, the Nigerian Navy provided 6 vessels to be part of the exercise. The participating ships and its respective companies will, however, not be having any physical contact with one another in line with COVID-19 guidelines. The United States and Nigeria have in the past participated in a series of exercises that have led to the arrest and prosecution of several suspects. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports with Kene shortly after this break. Please stay tuned.
Tell them. They told me you are the best around here.
What can I do for you, sir?
I want my own very, very simple. I don't want any shine. If I see any shine.
Actually, I'd love some sequins on my skirt. And I don't like any frills.
I beg, I want frills on mine. But it must not be too tight.
Tight! That tight now, that is what I want. And the transition.
Oh, you know what? I want a gown.
Me too. I want to come to one.
You know what GMS and this Did you capture all the information?
Of course not.
Actually.
Fantastic.
I give my customers what they love.
because everyone has their unique style. So why should they wear the same thing? Just like MTN for me, which gives unique data and recharge offers just the way you like it. Just dial *121# and turn up great offers every day.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Before, malaria they knock me basbos. And then one day, I go pharmacy.
Have you tried Malact? Malact is the effective malaria medicine from May and Baker, makers of quality medicines for over 75 years. Malact contains a combination active drug called dihydroartemisinin piperacin, which keeps working in your body for up to 6 weeks, stopping the malaria parasite from knocking you down. This is why Malact is your control button against malaria.
Now 3 tablets I take every day for 3 days.
Now some Malact give malaria boy one to now I have malaria. I go punch my own by
Malact, your control button against malaria. Available in pharmacies near you.
Help make nights rest-filled by keeping baby's bum dry all night with Huggies Dry Comfort. With our stretchy waistband and super absorbent core, Huggies Dry Comfort provides all-night dryness and comfort to make nighttime rest-filled for baby and you. Huggies, for all-night dryness and comfort. Help make nights rest-filled by keeping baby's bum dry all night with Huggies Dry Comfort. With our stretchy waistband and super absorbent core, Huggies Dry Comfort provides all-night dryness and comfort to make nighttime rest-filled for baby and you. Huggies, for all-night dryness and comfort.
Make a load recharge card, I beg.
I don't find the money. Plenty day to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 1 million naira for one person every day for 90 days. 2 smartphones every hour, every day for 90 days. 10 million naira star price today. New customers just come with side or buy a new line, and we go send you free 1 gigabyte plus 500 naira airtime. So make you the recharge 200 naira or more. Make you for the win.
9 Mobile.
Good afternoon. I want this.
Okay, sir, but why not go for this bigger screen? The resolution is better too, but more expensive.
I will spend more and I will go for this.
Johnny, I am your future self, and as you can see, our future looks great. Don't ruin it by spending indiscriminately. Splurge a little, but think about our tomorrow. Save more for later.
Sorry, I will save money and go for this.
Save more for later by adding voluntary contributions to your retirement savings account with Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers. Call 01-271-6000 to open the Stanbic IBTC Pension account today. Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers, a member of Standard Bank Group.
We dey catch feelings, we dey cry.
Amaka, ani kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Try.
They did what?
If you do better thing, you go thrive, mama.
Leave that house now. Amaka.
Stay where you are.
No.
You are going nowhere.
Amaka!
Blockbuster movies like this, series and much more. Download the Airtel TV app.
Mr. Announcer, you know tell them say this film is still there on top of fire. And you say me, we still the shoot, so.
Download the Airtel TV app from Apple and Android Play Store. Enjoy up to 1.5 gigabyte free data monthly. Airtel TV by Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thanks for staying with us. Issues of effective governance take front burner this Monday as the Tripartite Consultative Committee set up by President Muhammadu Buhari continues its meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade tells us more.
It is the second meeting of the APC Tripartite Consultative Committee. Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, after the closed-door meeting, which lasted for 2 hours, say issues discussed are very important and germane to effective service delivery to Nigerians.
Elections should be free and fair. How do we ensure that the National Assembly delivers on the amendments to the Electoral Act and the Constitution reviews to ensure that the polity provides the kind of climate for free, fair, and credible elections and make Nigerians' votes count in every election.
It's the assurance of a free and fair process that we are going and driving for. And I believe that everything that we are putting in place as a government with the full support of the National Assembly is that by the time President Buhari exits in 2023, the stage would have been set for elections and the votes of the people to count in this country.
While assuring Nigerians that the election in Ondo will be free and fair, they are, however, confident that the APC will be successful in the election. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo presided over the meeting. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Time now for some business news, and Moplang Dakok is just ready to do just that. Hello Moplang, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kene. Good evening and welcome to Business News. Oil prices rose about 4% on Monday, lifted by news of improved health for U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump's health update eased political uncertainty in global markets, pushing Brent up to $40 a barrel, gaining more than 70 cents. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $38.50 a barrel. Prices had slumped more than 4% on Friday amid uncertainty surrounding Trump's health. And Nigeria is set to establish the first multinational fishing company in Africa to be located in South-South Nigeria. And industrialist Patrick Osobeze, who commends the federal government for the stride and its effort at sustaining growth and economic development, says the program will provide foreign direct investment for the country and employment for the teeming youths.
Looking forward to an incredible future for the Niger Delta, a revival of the fishing system. The fact that when they catch the fish, it's not just for the Niger Delta people. Depots will be built in all the 6 zones of the Federation, where today's fish will be found today. So you will catch fish in the Atlantic Ocean. It will be freighted up to various parts of the country overnight, and by the next day, you will have sea fish in your zone. Fish, again, is the highest protein giver. It's the most cost-effective way of getting protein. So for the national health and for food security, this 100 trawlers will go in no short way in changing the perspective of fishing in Nigeria.
Talking stocks, investors gained 350 billion naira as market capitalization hit 14 trillion naira on the Nigerian Stock Exchange this Monday. The NSE Oil Share Index gained as much as 2.11% to close at 27,554.59, with market capitalization at 14.4 trillion naira. GlaxoSmith led 36 gainers as against 10 losers led by Trip Leg. The financial services industry, led by Zenith Bank, Sterling Bank and UBA, were the most active stocks to boost market turnover, while Zenith Bank and Guarantee Trust Bank topped market value list. And that's it on Business News. Kene, it's back to you.
Thank you, Moplang. Preparation towards Nigeria's next census is intensifying with commencement of the next phase of the enumeration area demarcation exercise. The exercise, which is the foundation for the actual census, will cost the federal government the sum of 10 billion naira. Calvin Ehunae reports.
The success of any census depends on the effectiveness of the enumeration area demarcation exercise, regarded by experts as the framework on which the entire census architecture is built. It comprises specific number of persons and households which a team of enumerators can cover during a census. Since Nigeria's last census in 2006, 9 EAD have been done in 208 local government areas of the country. The next phase, and the 10th in the series, will be conducted in 33 local government areas spread across 25 states and the FCT. Authorities of the National Population Commission are delighted that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the release of 10 billion naira for the continuation of the exercise in the remaining 546 local government areas of the country.
The President has graciously followed this up by a further approval of an additional 4.5 billion to be included in the 2021 budget for the completion of the exercise, as part of preparations for the next census.
At the moment, the training of field officers is ongoing towards the successful enumeration area demarcation and the actual census to provide the country with the necessary data for development planning and resource allocation. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebonwaye, NTA News.
Now, the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, says if the content of the Nigerian South African Binational Commission is implemented to the letter, early warning systems, security and intelligence gatherings, as well as people-to-people contact will be achieved. The NIDCOM boss stated this at a high-level meeting with the South African High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador Thami Nseleku, in Abuja. The NIDCOM Chairman and Chief Executive Officer believes that between government to government, there are no perceptions and mindsets, but the challenges are people-to-people relations, which NIDCOM is ready to work with the South African High Commission to address.
I've committed some crimes in South Africa, but that doesn't make every Nigerian a criminal. A few South Africans have put up some xenophobic attacks, but that doesn't make every South African xenophobic. And it's very important for Nigeria and South Africa for us to have those conversations, people-to-people level.
As part of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission, there was an agreement that we need to develop a mechanism for early warning systems in relation to what happens in South Africa. It's more security and intelligence driven on the one hand, but on the other hand, which I think is the most important, the sort of conversations and people-to-people relations.
The government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and government of the Republic of South Africa in October 1999 established the Binational Commission. Let's now take you to Enugu as Chinenye Moye updates us with happenings from that zone.
Thank you, Kene. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. In an effort to reposition and transform the Corps into a world-class organization in line with its vision, the Federal Road Safety Commission has inaugurated another project at the FRSC Academy, Enugu State. Comfort Ayim reports.
This time, it was the inauguration of the administrative block. Special guest of honor, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi performed the inauguration. The road safety balls reflected back in 2006 when the academy was temporarily situated in Jos, Plateau State, before its relocation to Udi, the permanent site, in 2014.
Which I think for the state government contributed 90% of the resources.
Governor Ugwuanyi, on his part, described the project as a tasking demand, but the continuous partnership, he noted, must remain.
However, the passion of our government for road safety and a synergy with the court as exemplifying the professional and technical support provided by FRSC through the academy in the training of staff of the Enugu State Traffic Management Agencies and drivers of the Enugu State government.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation represented alongside Chairman FRSC Board, Bukari Bello, who congratulated and commended the federal and state government in its united effort towards ensuring standardization in road safety management.
The FRSC has done a good job in establishing the academy and striving to provide the infrastructure and logistics required to achieve its mandate of human capacity development for the improvement of road safety in Nigeria.
For the Southeast governors, they maintained that the degree awarding institution would not really conduct teaching and training, but research on road safety. In Enugu, Comfort Ayim, NTA News.
And teachers in Enugu State today joined their counterparts the world over to celebrate 2020 World Teachers' Day. Chidi Okorafor reports that the global event is observed annually to appreciate teachers and also to highlight the importance of teachers in the society.
For this year's World Teachers' Day celebration, is Teachers Leading in Crisis, Reimagining the Future is apt as it provides the opportunity to celebrate the teaching profession worldwide, take stock of achievements and draw attention to the voices of teachers who are at the heart of efforts to attain the global education target of leaving no one behind. Some stakeholders in education sector in Enugu spoke to NTA News on the significance of the World Teachers' Day, the role and achievement of teachers in nations building.
I'm sure they are the nation builders. So when you have a day in which you recognize and celebrate them, I think it makes a lot of significance into the lives of the teachers.
The role of teachers cannot be exaggerated because we talk of human development. Teachers are playing the major role. You know, our children are our future. Just as we say, if you can write your name, thank you, teacher.
Anybody who is in the education sector will know that teachers are central to what we are doing here. They are one of the most important instruments we have for knowledge transmission.
October 5 every year is observed as the World Teachers' Day since 1994. In Enugu, Chidi Okrafo, NTA News.
And that is our bit from here. Kene is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you, Chineye. An average Nigerian youth is said to be talented but only awaits opportunity to showcase them to blossom. It is for this reason that the Emmanuel Mora Foundation organized a National Creativity Championship in Abuja to identify and groom talents that will not only make them productive but also make the country proud. Tamara Ebiwe tells us more.
Nigeria, the largest African nation with an estimate of 33,652,424 youths, has talents in abundance, especially in arts. Despite our cultural and religious diversity, to harness these talents and give them a platform, the Emmanuel Mora Foundation and its partners put together the 2020 National Creativity Championship in Abuja to celebrate Nigeria's 60th independence with the theme, Raising the Bar on Creativity in Nigeria. Youths present who underwent auditions showcased their talents in arts and crafts.
We've got the power to be fruitful, but we've told our God to be footstool. We live our lives under likes on our YouTube.
17-year-old Bamayi Emmanuel, who started his pencil work from primary school, was singled out for recognition.
I want to try my possible best to see that I'm good at painting, because painting deals with colors, and colors is what explains the beauty of the world. Convener
Emmanuel Mora, whose project of identifying creative talents across the country started 5 years ago.
A stimulus training that will sensitize you to actually be able to own your own brand, to recognize that you have a brand, to be able to develop the brand, and be able to structure your own brand the way you want to sell it.
All of them came in with such energy, such powerful messages about how they want their Nigeria to be. We are already birthing new Nigerians here.
Creativity industry. That is one industry that needs all the support it can get.
In Abuja, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
Olumide Aguntala will now bring us sports update.
A webinar with the theme University as a gateway to an excellent life opportunities and challenges focused on various